The big game is fast approaching, but wait, you still haven't got your tickets. You've spent hours searching, but you're still confused about ticket prices. Time to stop searching. Visit ticketcompare.com. We compare ticket prices for all the popular leagues and tournaments for you. We work only with the most trustworthy sites, so you can have peace of mind when buying your tickets. Compare prices, buy tickets, get to the game. Ticketcompare.com. Buying tickets made simple.
Quite the morning after.
No, it's not. No, it's
the morning after the morning after.
It's a very warm morning after the night before.
Forgive the casual look, it's too bloody.
It's warm. Cool, I tell you what, it's going to be.
So that's a fight.
Incredibly hot. Good, how are you? Yeah. Good. Okay, so probably just before we start, what I would like to do is send my very best wishes to Sir Alex and his family. He's been incredibly good to all of us, you know, particularly young coaches and managers, and hope that he makes a speedy recovery.
He's a fighter, isn't he?
He's a fighter, and I think that's why I think it's such a big shock, you know, the magnitude of the man, and but the fact that he is a fighter, I've got no doubts that he'll come through this and be as big and bold as ever. But I think that's the reason why it's such a shock, and because of the magnitude of the individual. But he's certainly an incredibly strong individual.
Would you mind giving me one example of what help he's been for you?
Well, I think probably the example I would give would be the same to lots of young managers and coaches. And in a time I can remember when I lost my job at Newcastle, he rang me, I think it was the next day. As with most managers coming up against him, you've never generally been too successful, and he's normally been in a very good mood because he's normally won the game. But the last time I saw him was, and he was kind enough to pull me into his office after we played at Old Trafford this season, and I think the reason why he did was because we played really well that day, and it was incredibly encouraging to see him afterwards and hear what he had to say about our team.
Thanks for that. So Alex aside, a sunny day here at the seaside, it's safe. Life doesn't get much better, does it?
Well, it's good at the moment. It's what we've worked incredibly hard to do, and I've been asked the question numerous times. You know, what is greater? You know, getting promotion into this division or staying there, and it's probably a very difficult one for me to answer, because certainly at the time last season I felt that was the biggest achievement, because we all know how difficult the Championship is to get out of, and many bigger teams than ourselves have found it very difficult, but we've also found how difficult it is to stay in this division, and it's relentless, the quality that we've been up against week in, week out, but I think we've got a group of lads that have acquitted themselves really well. So it's a nice feel at the moment, and certainly a better feel going into these last two games than possibly what it could have been. But we want to finish the season well. We didn't finish it particularly well last season after getting promotion, and we would like to see us finish the season well, and you know, if that means just making a very good account of ourselves in these two games.
How do you make sure that is the case, that you go out and you do your very best in these final two games, given that obviously there's a mood of celebration at the club?
Well, you can't make sure. All you can do is keep beating that same drum, and maybe drum home to them, you know, the example of last season where we did take our foot off the pedal and put ourselves in a position that was a relatively comfortable position to it not being the case. Of course, the difference, you know, certainly in these two games is the magnitude of the game as you're playing up against two of the best teams in the division, arguably two of the hardest away games that you can have. So that in itself is a great challenge, and there won't be anybody that doesn't want to play or try and play well in these games. So I'd like to think that the challenge is what will motivate the players at this stage.
And of course, you still may have a very big say in who finishes in the top four. The final game against Liverpool, your old club Spurs and Chelsea will be wanting you to go out there and do your best.
Well, that's a respect that you have to have for the division or whatever division you're playing in. And but more for ourselves, what we want to do is we've managed to get some good results against the top six at home. We've managed very much, I think, this to make the games as close as possible, Tottenham away and Chelsea away, and for good periods of that game we was very much in it. So this is our challenge, and I want us to be as good as we can in these games, but it is also respect for this division, and as I say, trying the best that we can in every game.
Is that your promise to Spurs and Chelsea, that you are single-minded about this game?
Well, it's not a promise. It's a promise to our supporters and to everybody to this club that our season is not over. We've got two very difficult games. We will take a big support to both games, and we will have a lot of support that wouldn't have been to them stadiums before. So no, I think we owe it to the club, we owe it to the players that are pushing hard to get into the team and perhaps haven't made the team. So that's our biggest responsibility, but we also know we have a responsibility to this league as well.
Are Manchester City in the correct frame of mind? Do you think that family on the pitch, champagne, parading the trophy, are they, do you think, of the same mind as you, that they're going to take this game seriously?
Very much so. What they are is that they are incredibly good professionals. They're very well drilled, and what they are going to have is, they are going to have off days, but they tend to bounce back very quickly. And I think that's the philosophy they have at the club. They have a manager that demands that, and that's the reason why they've been as brilliant as what they've been this season. But they can have an off day, but generally they bounce back for that. So we don't expect anything less than still an incredibly difficult game.
You could finish as high as 9th. You could finish as low as 16th. We know that the higher you get, the more money the club earns. Have the club spoken to you about trying to get as high up the table as you can?
No, but again, it's a responsibility, and I can remember being at Norwich in my first season, and I think we jumped something like 4 or 5 places on the last day of the season. So I'm not saying that's going to be the case, but it's just an indication of what can happen and why it's worth fighting, right the way through to the end. And if it means a difference between, a place, and take the financial aspects out of it, but just for the team, and we certainly want to try and finish as high as we can.
So now you're safe, can you now, in all seriousness, knowing where you're going to be next season, start planning for next season?
Yes, and I think, what happens in the build-up to this, that there are departments at the club, recruitment department, and of course at board level that have to look at different scenarios, but they have to keep working. So it's nice now that we know where we are, we can plan, even as regards pre-season, 100% being able to play in everything that we're going to do in pre-season, whereas up until now, there's a few ifs and buts. If we are, that can happen. If we're not, it changes. So that's the pleasing aspect, and a lot of our departments can get on with the work, knowing where we're going to be.
This group of players clearly done you proud. Just the odd tweak here and there?
I don't see dramatic changes. I think with any team and the organisation, if you feel you can improve and be better next season, then we will look at all of that. But I certainly don't see wholesale changes.
You've been named on the shortlist for Manager of the Year. Some fairly impressive names alongside you on that list. Do you expect to win it? No, I'm not going to tell you who I would vote for, but you are right. There are some incredibly impressive performers and clubs, and probably from a list that I could pull out, we will play one of them on Sunday, and we played one of them the game before last at Burnley. So. To be even thought about in their presence is something that
very satisfying for this club. But it's been a wonderful season for a lot of managers.
So maybe just finally a nice time for you to go and knock on the boss's door and say, you know, how about a new deal for me?
That's not something that I'm thinking about at the moment. What I'm thinking about is these two games. I mean, we are as a club, you know, very conscious of where we want to be and how we've gone about it this season. But more importantly, it's about finishing the season well, because you want. You know, at the moment there's a nice feel and there's a nice taste at the moment because we've achieved it. But we want that at the end of the season as well, and we don't want to fall short because, you know, these are two games that you can not only fall short, you can fall well short, and we don't want that feeling. And they're my overriding feelings at the moment.
Thank you. Well done. Cheers.
Cheers.
Chris, I think that I'm right in saying that Man City have made their debut a sort of celebration of Yaya Toure. They're going to sort of feature him as probably his last season. I mean, he must obviously have been a player you've looked at with great respect for a long time.
I mean, huge respect, and you know, it's almost when you think that there will be somebody, there'll obviously be somebody that doesn't play and he will play. Well, it's not a bad player to bring in, is it? I mean, with what he's done, but I think there are a few, and I suppose himself and Silva are two that just sort of instantly come to mind. I know there's more that have been through, you know, a longer period and seen the real progression of this football team, and he hasn't figured as much as what he would have liked, but I think when he leaves, and I think when individuals look back at the great players of Manchester City, then I think he's certainly been one of them.
Chris, how does staying in the Premier League reflect on the city of Brighton and the dedication of your fans and supporters?
Well, it's a big package, and we've seen the development. You know, I've been here almost 3.5 years now, come the summer, so I've seen that development. But of course there are individuals at this club that have seen far more development and seen where this club have been, the tough times, to what we have now, which is a wonderful stadium, this fabulous training facility, and in the Premier League. So I think it's been a real good joint effort between everybody at the club, of course the players that are on the pitch week in, week out, but when you look at, we're now regularly filling the stadium at 30,000, and there are lots of people at the club here that have been here a while that can remember tougher times at Gillingham, where, you know, the numbers were just a few thousand. So it's been a wonderful sort of pathway, and it's one that we want to continue.